cage. One more like this. And then from here, what I'd like you to do is think about tilting the hips towards you and bringing the lower spine down. So now the top of that triangle is going to go towards you. And then come back to your neutral pelvis. At the same time, we're still engaging the core here. Inhale, exhale, tilt the pelvis. Bring the lower spine down. Don't jam it down onto the mat and don't engage the glutes here. Use the obliques to bring the hips towards the rib cage. One more here. And then we're going to stay in that imprinted position or come back to neutral. And then we're going to think about coming into our leg slides. So we're going to inhale, reach one leg out. Exhale to come back. Now as you reach that leg out, try not to come out of that imprinted position, or if you're staying in neutral, stay in your neutral. Try not to rock the hips side to side. 2 more sets here. Reaching that leg away, but think about wrapping those leg muscles around the leg as well. Reach long and strong. Last one on each side. And then we're going to think about bringing our arms up and over the head, thinking about our rib cage placement, not allowing the ribs to pop as we bring the arms over. Use the exhale to come down. So we're just warming up here, reviewing the principles of the practice. We'll do 2 more sets here. Trying not to lift the rib cage off the mat. Some arm raises here. Last one. And then let's come just above the shoulders here. Bring the shoulder blades wide. Bring the shoulder blades wide onto the mat. And then we're just going to think about peeling the shoulder blades off the mat and reaching towards the ceiling. Then bring your shoulder blades back down onto the mat. So we're reaching forward, protracting, and then coming back. 2 more here, lifting the shoulder blades off the mat without it getting into your neck, getting some nice width between the shoulder blades. And then we'll come into some arm scissors. So inhale here, one arm comes over the head, one arm comes down, come back to above the chest. Now we're just moving through this, making some nice activation of that scapular area, engaging all the musculature in the shoulder girdle area. 1 more set here without moving the rib cage, without moving the pelvis. And then we're going to come into some arm circles. So we're going to inhale the arms over the head, exhale out to the sides without moving the rib cage or the rest of the body. So you're trying to stabilize against the movement. Then reverse this. You can slow this down if I'm going too fast. 1 here, 1 more. And then we're going to bring the arms down to the sides. Now we're going to come into our spinal rotations. Arms come out to the side, feet stay on the floor, or you can come into tabletop with the legs. Bring your legs to one side. Allow that nice spinal rotation to occur. And use the exhale to come back to the center. You can bring the eye gaze to the opposite side if that feels okay for your body. Just warming up the spine here. Remember, the feet can stay on the mat. We'll just do 1 more set here. 1 more here, getting nice mobility in your spine. And then we're going to come into what we call our hip rolls. Arms come back down to the sides of the body. Remove your hand towel if you have it under your head. And then you're going to come into your imprint, so bring the lower spine down. Start to peel the spine off the mat. 1 segment of the spine at a time, like the beads of a necklace coming off a table. Reach the knees away from the chest, and then use the exhale to peel down. See if you can bring each vertebrae 1 at a time down onto the mat. Peeling down, and find your neutral pelvis. We'll do that again. Rolling through, eye gaze is towards the ceiling. Reach the knees away, get a nice opening, and then exhale to peel down. We'll do 1 more here. And I'm just going to move my mat back. And then after that last one, we're going to come right into our ab prep work. So when you're ready, you're staying in that supine, but we're going to add a slight nod of the chin, draw the shoulders down away from the ears, and then you're going to hover the hands off, the arms off the mat here, reaching the fingertips towards the opposite wall, and then coming down. Now you could use hand weights here if you want a little bit more upper body work. We use that exhale to glide forward. Our eye gaze is towards the quads, not the chin. Glide the shoulders down. Draw the rib cage towards the pelvis. Try to keep that neutral position if you can with the spine. We'll do 2 more. Make sure you're exhaling as you come up. And you shouldn't feel your neck working here. Definitely the core working. So draw in the upper back as well. So draw those shoulders down. Let's just do 1 more here. And then we're going to come all the way down. Allow your head to come side to side. And then from here, we're going to roll over onto our bellies. If I'm going too fast, remember you can definitely slow this down. You're going to bring your arms just to the side of the mat here. Draw the shoulder blades back and down. Lift the navel. And then, as if you're pushing a P forward with the nose, you're going to come up into this extended position with the spine. Making sure you're not feeling this in the lower part of the spine here. Keep the core engaged. And then use that exhale to lengthen down. Inhale, wrap the shoulders back and down. Draw the shoulders back and down. Lift and reach long through the legs. And then exhale, lengthen down. We'll do 2 more here. Draw the sternum away from the toes. Anchor those legs. Even feel the glutes working, the legs working here to anchor the body. 1 last one, the upper back muscles working. And then we're going to come down into a long, low hover. Bring your arms off the mat, so less stability here. Bring your arms long to the side of the body. Wrap your shoulders back, and then use the exhale, start to lengthen down. The top of the head away from the toes, lengthening the body. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades back. Reach the fingertips towards the toes, and the head away from the toes. And then lengthen, lengthen all the way down. 2 more like this. Lift and reach, nice and long, like you're a long, low, hovering plane. Last one. And then from here, we're going to make a little bit more of a weighted lever by placing the hands underneath the forehead. Using an inhale to engage the core and the breath, we're going to come up into that long, low hover. So inhale here, exhale, come into that hover. Hands are staying just underneath the forehead, and then lengthen down. Remember, if this is too much, you could come back to that first exercise that we did in prone. We'll do 3 more here. Inhale, exhale, and lift and reach. Inhale to hold, and exhale down. Anchoring the legs here. You might find that you do 1 less because this is too much for you. So remember, only do as many as you can. This was the last one. Inhale here, and exhale to come down. And then we're going to go ahead and push back into what we call our shell. A lot like child's pose. Lift the navel up and under. Get a nice release in the spine. Breathe into the rib cage. Expanding the rib cage. You can always come back to this child's pose, or rather this shell stretch, if you need to take a break. Okay, or lengthen and stretch your spine. We're going to come into our supine position. So back into supine. Remember, if I'm moving too quickly, you can slow this down. So coming back into supine, we're going to come into our 100. So warming up the body a little bit more. We're going to keep the feet on the mat if this is where you're at in your practice. Or if you want to challenge, you're imprinting the spine like we practiced in the beginning, and bring your legs up to that tabletop position. Okay, this is a lot harder than being here, right? Because you're in that open kinetic chain here. Then you're going to slide the shoulders down, come into your ab prep position. You could always place 1 hand underneath the skull, but then we're adding this movement. So you have to try to stabilize against the movement of the arms coming up and down. And the breath work is inhaling in through the nose for 5, exhaling through the mouth for 5. And we go all the way to 100. So I would say we're at 20. Inhaling for 5, exhaling for 5. Nice and strong with the core. So make sure you're using the core. You could be here. You could even be here. If the neck is bothering you, you can keep the head down. Let's go for 50 more. Keep drawing the shoulders open. Keep the core nice and engaged. Inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 5. Nice and strong here with the core. We'll go for 10 more. Inhaling, wide into the rib cage, deeply, and exhale deeply. And then we're going to bring our feet down if they were up. Slowly come down with the head, neck, and shoulders. And allow your head to come side to side, releasing your neck. And then go ahead and bring your arms up and over the head. If it feels okay, extend your legs away from you. Make sure you're not popping the rib cage. And then float the arms down to the sides. And then come to a side lying position. Come up to a sitting position. And then we'll come into our half roll back. So this is where if you have a ball or a small pillow, you could place it just between the knees here to correct that alignment. Okay. If you want to add weights, you could here. Draw your shoulders down. I never started the music, so I'm going to put a little music on. I apologize. So we're going to go ahead, add a little music here. So draw the shoulders down, come up and over that imaginary picket fence. Then coming into your C curve, draw the shoulders down. Inhale here, exhale up and over. Inhale, exhale. C curve, I mean by that, draw the tag of the pants towards the mat. Inhale to hold, shoulders down, only coming back as much as you have that abdominal engagement. If you have that ball between the knees, you're going to squeeze it. We're going to do 3 more here if that feels okay for your body. Slow it down if you need to. Right down the center of that balance beam. And then we're going to think about coming all the way down in our supine, back here, down into a supine position, and come into our leg circles. So here you have the choice of keeping one foot on the floor and bringing this knee into flexion or lengthening the leg. Or if you have more flexibility, both legs can be lengthened. We're going to come into some circles here from the hip joint, inhaling across the body and then away from the body. So you're trying to keep, again, that level glass of water on the pelvis. The stabilizer is working against that movement. Keep those shoulder blades wide, get a nice release in the hip. Remember, this leg could be lengthened if you have more flexibility. 2 more in this direction. Little paint strokes on the ceiling. Relax your neck and shoulder area. Bring the tension into the core. Then reverse this, about 8 to 10 in each direction. Get a nice release. Make sure the hips aren't coming side to side. We'll do 3 more in this direction unless your body needs more. And then we're going to go ahead and flex through that knee, bend through that knee, and place that foot back down on the floor. Reach this leg long or keep it flexed. And again, little circles here. Try not to rock the pelvis side to side. Keep the core nice and engaged. Keep the rib cage on the mat too. And then we're going to go ahead and reverse this. Shoulders are down and wide. 3 more in this direction. Keep breathing. And 1. Then go ahead and bring that foot down. And then we're going to come back up into a sitting position. So when you're ready, coming to the side to come up. And then from here, we're going to go into what we call our spine twists. So we want to move in different planes of motion. Our spine twist here today, if you wanted to, you could add weight. Not necessary. At first, I really want you to start with like a circle just in front of the body here, coming up onto your sit bones. If it's too difficult to be upright like this, you can place a blanket underneath the sit bones. You're making that circle here. You're going to come into a twist, and then you're going to release back to the center. So we're twisting upwards, reaching through the crown, and then coming back. Use that exhale to come into the twist. So the pelvis is going to move just slightly, but I don't want it to move a lot. And I want you to think about the rib cage moving on like a vertical axis, a skewer. One more here, shoulders down and wide. And then we come to the center, to the other side. Draw the shoulders down and come into that twist and then come all the way back. So it's almost like you're wringing water out of a towel. Right through the waistline. So you should feel this right through the waistline, lifting through the crown. Last one here. And then we're going to try to bring the arms long here. Draw the shoulder blades down. Use an inhale to prepare, lengthening the spine and come into that with the arms lengthened to the side. On the exhale, come back to the center. Inhale, exhale, and twist. Come back to the center. We'll do 2 more here. Make sure it's nice and smooth. Using that exhale to come into the twist. Shoulders down and wide. And then go ahead and release the shoulders. And then we're going to come into our rolling like a ball prep. So you're going to go ahead and keep the feet on the mat for this unless you need more of a challenge, bringing your feet off. We're going to come into the C curve half roll back like we did before. And then we're going to lengthen up. So it's a C curve, tag of the pants goes towards the mat, and then lengthening up. This might be enough for you, or you could maybe bring one foot off the mat and then lengthen up. So you could challenge yourself by bringing one foot off at a time. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, you could try finding your balance, bringing both feet off the mat, coming into that C curve, and lengthening up. This is your modification. Now I'm going to show you the full rolling like a ball. I only want you to come into this at home if you feel comfortable. You're going to bring your seat to your feet, and then only coming to the widest part of the back, making sure there's nothing behind you. You're going to roll just to the shoulder blades and then come back. Never onto the neck. Okay, so that's an option too, or you're coming here. So do what's best for your body. This might be better for your body today. We'll do 2 more here. Use that exhale to come up. Last one. And then we're going to come all the way back down into that supine position. You can place that towel underneath your head here if you would like. So coming all the way down, maybe holding just behind the thighs, coming all the way down. And then from here, we're going to come into our single leg stretches. So bring the lower spine down onto the mat. Bring your legs up to tabletop. You could always keep one foot down here if you need more of a closed kinetic chain. Otherwise, both legs can come up. And then either keep your lower body down or come into this upper flexion of the spine. Do what's best for your body. We're going to reach one leg long and strong towards that opposite wall, lengthening those muscles. Come back to tabletop. Now you could be here, reaching one leg long with one foot down and reaching, do 3 on this side. Or you could alternate here. Now come back to that level bowl of water on the hips and imprinting the spine here, especially if both legs are off the mat. We'll do 2 more here. Remember, your head, neck, and shoulders could come down, especially if you're feeling neck tension. And then we're going to come into our obliques. So the feet could remain at tabletop. The legs could remain at tabletop, or you can bring the feet down. I want you to knit the hands, the fingers together, and bring them just underneath the skull. Keep the shoulders wide. Inhale to nod the chin, exhale, drop the eye gaze towards the quads, and then you're going to fold the rib cage over and come into your obliques. Keep the elbows open. Come back to the center, and then lengthen down. Same side again. Inhale to nod, keep that egg under the chin, rotate, come back to the center, and lengthen down. Inhale to nod, exhale, come up, twist, come back to the center, and then come down. Opposite side. Exhale, we do 3 on this side, keeping that level bowl of water on the pelvis. One more here. And then we can alternate here, unless you need to take a break. Alternating here. Use that exhale to come up and over. We'll do one more set from here. Make sure you're not tugging on the neck. You're really using your core muscles here. Using the obliques. And then we're going to come into our double leg stretches. So you can keep your head, neck, and shoulders down here. We are going to come to tabletop legs. And then from here, we're going to reach the legs long away from us, more towards the ceiling if you need less of a weighted lever, or if you want to lower for a little bit more weighted lever. Okay, so a little bit more of a challenge. If you would like even more of a challenge, you're coming into upper thoracic flexion here. The arm work is like this. If you want to add arm work, you come up over the head and then down to the side. So you might even just decide to do the arm work. And then if you want to do both, this is double leg stretch. Nice and long and strong as we reach that hat off. Exhale back, but I'm not allowing that rib cage to pop. So you could be here, or you could be here. We'll add two more, but I want you to choose your variation. Nice and strong here with the whole body. And then after that last one, we're going to come down with the head and then allow the head to come side to side. Release any tension in the neck. And then we're going to come into, from here, into our toe taps. So you're going to alternate tapping and then coming back. If you need a break, bring your knees to your chest. Otherwise, coming into the toe taps here. You shouldn't feel any discomfort in the spine. Core should be activated. Okay? And I want you to move from the hip joints. We'll just do one more set from here. This part of the series is the longest. This is the abdominal work. Even it's abdominal work throughout, but bring one foot down at a time. It's called the abdominal series. That one part is a lot of work. So stretch the body long here. And then allow the arms to come down. And then what I'd like you to do is come to your side and then come up to a sitting position. And then from here, come into a cross-legged position. And we're just going to come into a side bend. So come up and over, get a nice stretch. And then come up and over the other side. We'll do one more on each side before we go into our shoulder bridge work. I'm sorry, my camera keeps shifting a little bit and refocusing. I have to work on that. So we're going to go ahead and come back to our supine position. If you want to take a sip of water, you can. Otherwise, we're going to come into our supine. No hand towel here, so no headrest here or pillow underneath the head because you want that correct cervical spine alignment. Make sure that your heels are in line with your sit bones. And if you want to, you could place that ball between the knees. We're going to come straight up with the pelvis. So we're going to inhale here and use that exhale to come straight up from the crease of the hip and try to make a nice long line from your shoulders to your knees. Can you engage your glutes in the back of the legs and maybe even squeeze that ball? Keep the shoulders open and then come straight back down. Inhale here, exhale, engage the core muscles to support the pelvis and the spine. Reach the knees away from the shoulders. Use a deep inhale here, and then use the exhale to come down. We're going to come back up here on that exhale, but we're going to hold here and lower the pelvis a little bit as we lift. Really think about squeezing the glutes. Lower and lift. Lower from the crease of the hips and lift. One more here, lower and lift, hold, and then come straight back down. We'll do two more sets unless it's one too many for you. So when you're ready, get a nice inhale into the rib cage. Use the exhale to gauge the core, reach the knees away, glutes working, and lower. And lift. Feel the legs working as well. Lower and lift. And if you need a little bit more, squeeze that pillow or ball at home. And then we're going to come all the way back down. Inhale here, exhale straight back up. Last set for 3, 2, use that exhale to lift, and 1. Hold, creating that nice long line from your shoulders to your knees, and then come straight back down. Bring that ball just to the side if you had it, or the pillow. And then from here, we're going to come into our roll over modification. Imprint your spine, so remember you're going to tilt the hips towards you, bring one leg up to tabletop, and then the other, imprinting the spine. Cross your ankles, bring your knees apart, and then try here, using your core, the back of the arms and retractor muscles in your shoulder blades. Bring the legs off the mat, but see if you can peel a little of the spine off, and then slowly come back down. So you're rolling through the center of the spine, bringing the weight of the legs towards you, getting a nice lengthening of the spine. Try not to allow the shoulders to come forward. And then you can cross your ankles the other way and roll through the spine in the opposite direction. So nice and strong with the core. We'll do one more here if this feels okay for your body. And then bringing the feet down, allow the arms to come out to the sides, and then we'll come into a little bit of a spinal release here. Allow legs to come to one side, and maybe the eye gaze to come to the other side. Stay for an inhale. Use an exhale to come back to the center. Inhale here, exhale to the opposite side. Okay, nice stretch here. And then exhale back to the center. And then we're going to come now into a prone position. So when you're ready, we're going to come onto you're going to come onto your belly. And then we're going to come into our single leg kicks here. So you're coming all the way down, bringing the forehead on layered hands. I want you to try to track your foot as it comes towards the buttocks, and then you're going to reach away. So bring it towards the buttocks and reach, but we're going to add a double kick. So it's going to be kick, kick, and reach. But this time, I want you to flex, kick, kick, and reach. So flex, kick, kick, and then point away. Try not to move your pelvis as you're doing this. We'll do one more on this side, kick, kick, and reach. So your forehead should be on layered hands. We'll do 5 on this side. Keep the core engaged. Kick, kick, reach. You can speed it up as soon as you have stability throughout. So your pelvic area shouldn't be moving. Core should be working. Kick, kick, reach, kick, kick, and reach. And then we can alternate here. So kick, kick, reach, using the quads, using the buttocks. Kick, kick, and reach. Kick, kick, and reach. Kick, kick, and reach. One more set. And then we're ready to go into our full breaststrokes. We're bringing everything together that we learned in the beginning of class. We're going to come up into that Sphinx-like position. This might be enough for you. Or you're going to start to bring your arms off the mat here, anchoring the rest of the body. Using the core, bring the arms long over the head or keep them slightly bent. And then reach back, lift the sternum away from the toes. Inhale to reach long with the whole body. Maybe keep the arms slightly bent and lift here. So really using those back muscles, those postural muscles, core is working. Legs are also helping you stabilize. Glutes are working. 2 more here. Inhale, reach. Exhale to come back. Maybe 1 more if it's okay for your body. Inhale to reach. Exhale, stay here. And then slowly lengthen the top of the crown away from the toes as you come all the way down. Go ahead and push back into your shell position. Slow this down if you need to. This is your hour to do what's best for your body. Hold here for a couple of deep breaths. And then slowly come up to a sitting position, and we'll come into our saw. So when you're ready, I'm just going to take this top off because now I'm feeling a little warm. So you're going to come into that upright position. So make sure you can sit upright like this. If this is too difficult, slightly bend through the knees. Arms come out to the sides, and we're going to come into this twist here. And then you're going to reach up and over towards the opposite corners of the room. Inhale to come up and lengthen the spine, and come back to the center. Let's stay at the same side here. So twist, slight bend of the knees if you need to. Come up and over and reach. Keep the core engaged. And then lengthen up. You can try with straight legs if you have flexibility, if it feels okay for your body. And then we're going to come to the opposite side here. So we're going to come into that twist, reach up and over, nice and strong with the arms, keeping both sit bones down. So it's that twist that we did earlier. And use the exhale to come up and over, reach nice and strong with the arms. Last one here, twist, up and over, eye gaze drops. And then we're going to alternate here. Twist, up and over, and reach. Core is nice and engaged. Twist, up and over, and reach. We'll do one more set here. Twist, up and over with the rib cage, reach nice and long. Core should be nice and engaged. And then allow the shoulders to relax. Coming into our neck pull. We're not going to pull our necks here, that happens to be the name of the exercise. I'm just turning around to get a different position here. You're going to layer the hands on the forehead here. Draw the shoulder blades down. Keep the core connected. Come into that half roll back that we did earlier. Then use the exhale to come up and over with the rib cage. And then inhale to lengthen back up that wall. So it's a C curve. Up and over and exhale. Inhale to lengthen. But as you're doing this, I want you to make sure you're finding the midline of your body. You're coming straight down the midline and then up and over, a balance beam right down the center of your body. Feel the legs working here as well as the core. And even the upper part of the back working. Two more here. Last one. And then we're going to come into our obliques roll back. Again, if you have that ball, you can be placing it here. And if you want to add a weight, this is where you could do it. But no more than really 2 pounds. Draw your shoulder blades down, come into your C curve, and then you're going to come into your spine twist, and then come back to the center. So no weight really needs to be used. Coming into that twist, because trying to find stability as you're creating that spine twist, that obliques roll back, is hard to stabilize. You're creating that upper body movement and the lower body is not moving. Keep the core engaged. And we can do 2 more sets here if it feels okay for your body. Arms are nice and strong here. Keep breathing. Last one here. And then just come up and over, relax the neck and shoulders. And we're going to come into our side lying work now. You can always stay here and get a nice deep breath, or come right into side lying with me. So coming into our side lying, I want you to stack your hips here, making sure your body is completely aligned as if you're between 2 walls. Then you're going to bend that bottom knee if you need a little more stability, or keep both legs long, hinge your legs forward. A little more difficult to be here. Top leg comes up without bringing the hip towards the rib cage, and we're going to keep the head down here. You can fold this underarm under. I want you to kick forward for 2 from the crease of the hip, and then use that sweep back to squeeze the glute. So reach to the point where you get a nice stretch here, and then sweep back. Reach, keep the shoulders open and sweep back. Reach, and sweep. 2 more here. You can speed this up if you have stability and control throughout the body. Last one here. Reach, reach, and sweep. Now we're going to think about stacking the legs and just moving my prop here. Bringing the legs to the back of the mat, stacking the hips. I want you to inhale this top leg up just to hip height, then use a flex foot, really reach through it as you lower down. Inhale up and exhale through imaginary wet wave or mud, something to create resistance. Keep the shoulders open, keep the core engaged. We're going to do 3 more sets here. Keep the neck long. You should feel those leg muscles working, the abductors and adductors working. And then we're inside and outside, the legs working. And now from here, top leg comes up to hip height in little circles from the hip joint. Try not to move the hips. Little circles from the hip joints. You should feel it moving right from this hip joint. And then you're going to reverse the circles, quick circles. Little circles. Keep the core engaged. And you're slowly going to bring that leg down. Can you inhale it back up just to hip level? And then bring the other one to meet it. Squeeze them together and then lower, but reach the toes away from the crown as you lower. Top leg comes up. Reach up with the other leg. Squeeze, adduct those legs, lower down. Keep the shoulders open, core engaged. Top leg comes up, other leg meets it, and then come down. 2 more sets if it feels okay for your body. Last one here. And then we're going to try to lift both legs, maybe just a little bit, or maybe if you have a little more to go here. The range of motion is going to be really small here as we're in this coronal plane. 2 more here. Inhale, exhale, keep the core engaged. Keep those legs adducting. Last one, keep reaching the toes away from the head. Lift, hold, lower all the way down. And if you would like to, bend through this knee, bring this leg forward, get a nice stretch in the hip here. And if you need a little bit more, you can bring this arm long and maybe get a little bit of a spine twist here as well. Breathe here. And then we're going to come to the opposite side, unless you need to stay in that stretch and that's what your body needs today. So when you're ready, coming to the back of the mat, finding your body alignment first before you create movement. Bending that opposite knee on the floor or hinging the legs forward here. Bring that top leg up to hip height, keep the core engaged. We're going to reach when you're ready. We're going to kick forward for 2 from the crease of the hip and reach the leg back. So you want to move from the crease of the hip. Try not to move from the waistline. Keep the core engaged. It's from down here, right from the crease of the hip, from that hip joint. Reach, reach, and sweep back. Nice and strong with both legs. 1 more here. Reach, reach, and then sweep back. Bring your legs to the back of the mat. Find your body alignment. Stack your hips. Make sure your knees are facing forward. Inhale this top leg up. Exhale, sweep and reach through that flex foot. Inhale to lift. Exhale through that wet sand. Whatever you want to imagine that's creating body resistance. Nice and strong with the core. Keep the shoulders open, eye gaze forward. Let's do 2 more. You reach through that flex foot. Reach through the pointed foot. Last one. And then we're going to come back up to hip level. You can point through this foot. You can always bend that bottom knee, making those little circles. You might feel more stabilized with the knee bent underneath that bottom leg. And then we're going to go ahead and reverse this, just the size of a tennis ball. Nice and strong here. Neck is long, core is engaged. And then we're going to slowly bring this leg down. I'm just going to move a little bit here so you can see me. Inhale this top leg up just to hip height, and then bring the opposite leg to meet this leg and lower down. Top leg comes up, opposite leg meets it, and then lowering down. Legs are nice and strong. Feel the muscles working through the legs. Inner thighs really working, outside the legs working. Lengthening those muscles. Last one here. And then we're going to try to bring both legs up for that challenge. Keep the waistline long, neck long, and lift from the core and lower. Range of motion in this coronal plane is going to be really small. Keep the body long. Maybe 2 more if that feels okay. And 1. And then we're going to go ahead and bend that top knee. This is always such a nice stretch. I think this bottom arm can be bent and you could stay here and this might feel okay to get that stretch through the hip. Or if you want a little bit more, you can start to open up through the chest. The eye gaze could even go in the opposite direction if it feels okay for you. Hold here for an inhale. And then we're going to go ahead and come up into a sitting position. So for a spine stretch forward, you could come to a wall here. If you had a wall, come right up against it. Okay, just for a change, it's up to you. Or you can just imagine you have a wall just behind you. So find the back of your body with a wall. This is actually a little bit harder with the wall behind you. Bring the arms just long here, or you can be on the floor, the hands here. And then you're going to allow your spine to peel off that wall. See if you can bring one vertebrae off at a time. And then you're coming up and over that imaginary beach ball. Get a nice stretch here. Your hands might come down. Relax your shoulders and your neck. And then try to incrementally peel each vertebrae back up the wall, up the center of the spine. And try that again. So you're peeling, nodding the chin, peeling the spine off. It's nice because it gives you that tactile feedback. And then peeling each vertebrae up. We'll do one more here if it feels okay for your body. You should feel the core muscles working, peeling the spine off the wall. And then slowly coming back up the wall. Okay? And then from here, this is kind of a nice one too. Try to peel your shoulders, staying in this upright vertical position, peel your shoulder blades off of the wall. Reach forward as you protract here. And then bring your shoulder blades back towards the wall. Peel them off, and then come back onto the wall with the shoulder blades. 2 more here. Last one. And then slowly come off of the wall and come into a prone position. That's the nice one to do, practice at home. Coming into your prone position, hands are in that sphinx-like position next to the mat. Legs come apart laterally, and then you're going to think about using the core muscles, the back muscles, draw the shoulder blades back and down, and then coming up onto the hands, if this feels okay. So only coming up as high as it feels okay with your spine. Draw the shoulder blades down, and then lengthen, lengthen all the way down. We'll do that again. Inhale to retract the shoulders back and down, reach through the legs, even feel the glutes working here. Draw the navel in, and then lengthen all the way down. We're gonna add one more layer here. Inhale here fully, exhale and lift. And then from here, just a little rotation of the head here. So nod the chin, and start to bring the eye gaze over opposite shoulder. Nod the chin, come back to the center, and rotate the head to the other side. Keep the core engaged. Come back to the center, and lengthen down. We'll do one more of those. Keep the core engaged, don't come up too high. Nod the chin, rotate to one side. Coming to the other side. Coming back to the center. And then lengthening down. We're going to come into our swimming from here. So the option here is to come onto your hands and knees. Finding your balance here. We're going to think about lifting one leg off the mat and reaching long, but keeping the pelvis square to the mat, and the opposite arm lengthens here. Eye gazes down towards the mat. And then we're going to alternate here in this modified swimming. Nice and strong with the legs, with the core. If this is not enough of a challenge, You could come all the way down into your mat and come into this swimming position. Okay, this is another option. You could keep the head down or you keep the head hovering. Alternating here, we're going to do 3 more sets. So you could be here at home. Finding your balance, finding your body alignment, keeping the core engaged, nice and strong with the limbs. And we'll do 1 more set here. Making sure you're not arching the back. And after that last set, you're going to come into your shell position. Just checking the time. Okay, relax your head, neck, and shoulders. And you're slowly going to come up, come back into your cat stretch position. Tuck the toes under. This is a little bit of another layer of challenge. I want you to think about lifting the knees off the mat and then coming back down. Or you could stay in the hover and tap and lift. Tap and lift. If this is too much on your wrists, you could come here and lift up and lower. Okay? So you're lifting. Upper body is really working here. Core is working. Nice and strong here. And then after that last one, go ahead and bring the knees down. Coming into a sitting position, crossing the legs in front of you, if this feels okay. And we'll come into our side bend. So you're going to go ahead and think about lengthening the spine first. Allow this hand to glide away from you. And bring this opposite arm up and over, like a puppet strings lifting up and over. Get a nice side bend. And then use this exhale to float this arm down. Inhale, lift, up and over, keeping the sit bones down, reach through the crown, and then coming down. 1 more on each side. Inhale, exhale, up and over. Get a nice deep exhale as you bring this arm down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale to hold, and exhale down. And then we're just going to come into some arm circles here. Inhale over the head, exhale out to the sides. Do that again, inhale. And you could even bring the eye gaze up and reach through the sternum here. And then bring the eye gaze forward. Let's do 1 more here. Inhale. And use that exhale to bring your hands to your heart center. I wish you all well. I hope that you feel energized. You can stay and chat if you have some feedback to give. If there's something that maybe you didn't understand and you'd like to look at more closely, this is a good time to do that. I'm just going to scoot forward a little bit. But I'd love to hear your feedback. If you feel like you'd like to just leave a message, you can, or always email me on the staff or the membership page. Sorry.
Just want to say thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, everybody, Mary and Mitch and everybody. And hi. So
Have a great evening.
I am so, what was that? Sorry. I didn't.
Oh, I just said have a great evening.
Oh, thank you. I know it's so interesting. I'm losing track of time. I'm not sure if all of you, it seems like.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're right.
Just saying.
I stay in bed and read a little bit longer. That's happening to me. I don't know. My mornings are like sprawled out. Yeah.
It's a long pajama day. A long pajama day.
A long pajama day, but it's good to get out of your pajamas too.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Different. So
Thanks, Sarah.
it's so good to see all of you and new faces as well. And I hope that you receive the benefits of the workout. Please come again. It takes a few classes for sure to understand the principles of the practice. And if you need more of a challenge, I do have a Pilates class that offers intermediate work if you're looking for that. And it's on, you look at the schedule, but it's Wednesday at 2 o'clock and Friday evenings at 5. And there's another class Monday morning at 11:30.
Wow.
So, okay.
Thank you, Sarah.
Bye. Thank you,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye, dear.
Thanks for coming. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Vicky. Bye.
Bye, dear.
Bye.